Okay, so listen, we're going to be kicking things off with a headline-making handshake that is being described as, quote, painfully awkward. So earlier this week at the First Minister's meeting on healthcare, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he tried to shake the hand of Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. And her response, well, it was what you just saw. Reluctant at best. I think a wet fish, dead fish, something. Anyway, this is making
I love this loop. This is great. This is great.
So good. We could just watch that for an hour. Listen, this is making international news. Now, Riley, is this like legit a snub, and is it effective, and for whom?
I mean, I think truly the number one thing that this tells us is that Danielle Smith's a bit of a weirdo. To be honest, I'm like, that is whack. Like, I think that if I had to guess about what happened, it was like that she didn't actually think, and it's totally a thing that for Alberta's government, that you don't want to seem too cozy to the feds, especially for Danielle Smith's government that she campaigned on. And then I think the moment came and it was like, oh, and this is what we got out of that.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think political behaviorists are having a field day with this, and rightfully so, because I think she is trying, or would have maybe said something if she had given it more thought or done something about it. So yeah, I've seen it happen before, behind closed doors and in front of cameras. Political snubs, it is a thing.
Right.
What do they look like? You say hi to someone and they blow by you? Like, what are some examples of snub? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I remember when one time I was at the UN and a young Indigenous person refused to shake the hand of one of the environmental minister's, staff members, saying, I don't respect what you do in your portfolio. You've hurt my community. I'm not friendly with you. And they were like livid, right? And they were like, oh, I've disrespected you in some way. Is that it? And it like really got into a scuffle. And so it's totally a thing. Like I guess a handshake, does mean something. And then two, I've seen one time I was going into a meeting wearing a shirt that said, respect Wet'suwet'en rights, while Justin Trudeau was trying to push a pipeline through Wet'suwet'en lands. And you could tell his staff was sweating. Like there was gonna be cameras there.
The question, Riley, the question I have for you is, if he had come up to you to shake your hand, what would you have done?
Oh, see, I'm not 100% sure. I'd love to say that I would have been able to say something for myself in that moment. I think the thing that's interesting, though, is like, for me as an individual is one thing. For them, like, you're supposed to be representatives of like more than just yourself, right? Like, that's a leadership position. And so like, to be like, I'm making this weird petty, like, and it is for him too, to grab her hand and shake and smile. You say you don't like me, but here we are smiling, is also a thing, right? So
there was a lot going on there.
It's politicking.
And I think that in that moment too, listen, if Danielle Smith had wanted to send a message like, don't think that you can push us over, don't think that you could take advantage of us, there were better ways to articulate that or demonstrate that in the handshake, because as you said, wet fish is
I think dead fish.
Dead fish, okay.
If it's dead, it might not be wet anymore.
The hand, what you're referring to is how limp the hand looked. That is not a position of strength, right? If you want to come to the Prime Minister and be like, here, Mel, demonstrate. If you want to come, then you come.
Yeah. You flex the bicep. I don't have one. I don't have a bicep. But you flex.
Show me that knuckle gripping.
Yes.
Busting out of the skin. But this was just so weak and Victorian. I wanted to give her a handkerchief and ask her if she was having the vapors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Her disdain is palpable. Like the face that she was making the whole time. And didn't she just accept money from him too? Like this is a complicated thing, because ultimately we want to see our leaders at least try to present the idea that they're gonna, play nice. But that to me was just, remember when we thought that the handshake also was gonna die during COVID? Like we thought that it was gonna be, maybe she just thought that.
Maybe she should have just fist bumped.
Maybe she should have just been like, hey buddy, I don't think she would have done that either though.
But I do think it's funny that you bring that up. I didn't even think about that, because we, I think, discussed on the show, like, what's going to disappear now that COVID's here. And we said the handshake and hugs were going to disappear, and clearly none of that has happened.
She was never going to hug him.
She was never going to hug him. But it does make me realize there is an art to the handshake, so much so that my father, Frank Grelo, as a child, taught me and my sister how to do a proper handshake. He taught us two things: how to answer the phone properly and how to do a handshake properly.
Okay, demo.
And the demo, it was very, very clear. She, by the way, failed. Frank Grelo would have failed her, because the first thing is pre-handshake is establish eye contact face to face with a chin up and a chest out. Hello, Prime Minister Trudeau.
Hello, Danielle Smith.
And then, when you put it out, if you can be the first one out, you, as in to put the arm out,
right,
you are already exerting a position of power. In that case, it was Prime Minister Trudeau.
Yes.
So it's chin up, chest out, eye contact. Oh, you went first.
Yeah.
Now,
power.
I'm gonna meet your power.
Okay.
You know how?
How?
It's kind of gross. It's called web to web. The webby part between your finger and your thumb, it's a bit webby.
Okay.
You need to connect with the other person's web.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, yeah.
It goes like this, web to web. Now, when you close your hand, okay, watch. Yeah. The TED Talk is almost over. When you hold the hand, see how my fingers are open and yours are open? No, close your fingers. Now grip. And max 2 shakes.
1, 2.
Even if you're mad.
Power, it's a power, right?
Thank you, Melissa Grelo, for the handshake demonstration. Canada, please practice.
Hey there, wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.